I've never been more serious when I say I choose me in every scenario.
What do you mean by that?
I think as women, we tend to put other people's needs ahead of our own. And the thing is, it starts young because even as young girls, we're like pushed to make other people around us feel comfortable. You know, we're supposed to, act demure, act like a lady, just, be in your own space, don't take up too much space. And a perfect example of this is if you are an older sibling. I've heard the curse of the older sibling. I'm not an older sibling myself, but I've heard the stories of like, especially girl older siblings. So if you're a girl older sibling and you have to kind of become the mother for all your other siblings.
So many firstborn daughters are thrust into a role of responsibility that they didn't even ask for, whether it's acting as if they're secondary parents to their siblings, whether it's being the breadwinner, whether it's being like the project manager of their family home. A lot of firstborn daughters feel like there's an imbalance in their relationships with other people. There's a lot of take and give, with them always being the givers and other people always being the takers. They don't often take from other people, they don't often ask for help, and they generally are very hyper independent.
And your needs are pushed to the back because, you have been pushed to take on the role as mother for these kids, even though you're not their mother, but you were pushed to do that, And because of that, your needs are pushed to the side. Your needs are pushed to the back. And I think, to be honest, for a lot of girls, people forget that they have their own needs. They have their own lives. Like, they are also children growing up and should not be in charge of other children. Let me know if you guys have experienced this. Because like I said, I am an only child. I have never experienced this, but I have heard the tales that you girls have gone through, older women siblings. So I need to know. Or those parents who have their daughters do everything. So they have, a son and a daughter, but somehow the daughter is the one that's learning, how to cook, clean, sew, blah, 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 blah. And then the boy is out here frolicking in the streets, having a grand old time, gallivanting down the neighborhood, enjoying their life, enjoying their, childhood.
When I get home, those dishes better be done. And I want you to do the laundry and mop the floors and repaint the entire house. Do I make myself clear?
Hi, baby. Did you eat today? Oh, my baby. I'm gonna send you $200, okay? Go get a sandwich.
And I'm not saying don't teach your children life skills, because I think everyone, boy or girl, needs life skills. So life skills such as cooking, cleaning after yourself, doing the bare minimum for yourself is not something that should be, delegated to women, and then the men are out here just living their lives. Anyways, that's not the topic of conversation, but I'm just saying, I will never move from the hill that I think from a young age, girls need to be taught how to take up space, how to only accept respect, how to speak up for themselves, how to not care or fall over backwards to validate the needs of men, to, accomplish the needs of men. Like, yes, you want to teach your children life skills, but teach them life skills that they need for their life, not life skills so that they can serve other people, that they can serve men, women, whatever it may be. And I think so I feel like the three things that happen when women aren't taught how to put themselves first, when they grow up putting other people ahead of themselves, or when they grow up validating men, or being taught how to validate men, how to service men, how to be a man's mother, basically. Three things happen. One, they become pick-me's.
I tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie.
So according to Google, because I want to give like the actual definition. According to Google, a pick-me is someone who desperately seeks attention or validation, usually from the opposite gender, often by putting others down. You have the girls that are like, I'm not like the other girls, the ones that are like, I'm different, you should choose me because I'm not like her. Like, I'll let you go out and do whatever you want. Just pick me. You have those. And then you have the pick me energy, which is someone who goes to excessive, sometimes cringe-worthy lengths to gain acceptance or approval. Being a pick me, I think, starts at a young age. Because I can just imagine a little girl is growing up, right? And she is being taught that in order for her to be happy in life, she needs a husband. In order for her to be happy in life, she needs to cater to a man. And she will not be fulfilled unless she has a man. Or, men are the higher gender. So she needs to be surrounded by them. Or she sees women in her life surrounded by men, and that's all they're surrounded by. Or she's taught that in order for her to get what she needs and what she wants, other women are competition. So she needs to beat those other women in order to get the man or the job or, the whatever that she needs. Because being a pick-me is not just like relationship based. You can be a pick-me in anything. You could be a pick-me at work, a pick-me at school. Oh, the teacher's pet. Is that the same thing? Is being a teacher's pet the same as being a pick-me? Oh, that's crazy. Do you think all the people who are teachers' pets are now pick-me's? I don't think it's the same thing, but it might be. It might be in the same category. Anyway, before I go any further into this video, I just want to introduce myself. For those who don't know, my name is Dar, short for Darlene, and I just want to say if you are new to this channel, welcome. I hope you subscribe. And if you're coming back to your girl, I just want to say thank you so much for being so loyal and amazing and mwah, because I'm trying to build a community, a nation of beautiful, amazing people. So if that is you, subscribe. We can go back to the video now. The main thing is that these people or these girls need validation. They need validation from men. And in order to get validation from men, they will do and say whatever they need to. They will down other girls. They will down, whoever they need to get that validation.
The reason why a lot of women are pick-me's is because they were raised to abandon themselves. They were raised to chase validation from men. They were raised to be picked. They were raised to value proximity to men over themselves. That's why a lot of pick-me's see other women as competition instead of community. A pick-me will always betray other women. Some of them would sit and gossip, undermine, or bad talk women with men because they're so desperate to be accepted by the same men who have no respect for them. And what's worse, if they have children, they end up raising their boys to be entitled and they raise their girls to sacrifice themselves. As a result, they just continue a generational cycle of trauma, internalized misogyny, and dysfunction.
I feel like if that girl was brought up from a young age to only seek validation from herself, to realize that men are not the answer to her happiness. If that girl was taught at a very young age that lesson, she would not be a pick-me today. I feel like something had to happen in childhood that made this girl a pick-me. And a pick-me is dangerous. You know why being a pick-me is dangerous? Because if you are only looking for validation, that means somebody can do anything and everything that they want to you, and you will stay. You will stay because at least you have the attention that you were looking for. The attention is what makes you feel good. It doesn't matter who it's from. It doesn't matter how you're getting it. The only thing is that you won the attention. And maybe you beat out another girl for that attention, but you won, even if it's bad attention. And that brings me to point number 2 on why it's so dangerous to let young girls grow up with that mindset of, I need to be small. I need to be demure. I need to speak when spoken to. I need to, learn all these life skills, not for me, but for my future husband. We all know abuse in relationships is a thing. And I don't think one person is immune from that. Like, I think any of us can fall in a scenario where, the person that we end up with isn't who we thought. They do something, whatever, no one is exempt from that. It could happen to anyone. So I'm not judging anyone for that. But I feel like the difference would be if that person stays. When a woman knows her value, when she knows what she brings into the world, when she is confident in herself and what she can do, when she knows that her happiness doesn't rely on another person, a man, a job, whatever it may be, when she knows that she is her own being and that she can take up space and that she can demand respect. And if she doesn't get that respect, she can walk out that room, no problem. When a woman knows that, I feel like in scenarios that turn abusive, they are more likely to leave versus a woman who was taught at a very young age that her existence relies on other people being happy with her, loving her. Not her loving herself, other people loving her.
I tell people that I was in an abusive relationship where I used to get strangled and hit. They're like, oh, but why didn't you leave? There is no you. When you're in one of those relationships, you as a concept ceases to exist. Every time I meet another person who has like my same life, different font, when they're like, oh, I am a young divorcee with like an abusive husband who I left, or anything like that, I call it the abused kid deluxe package. Because almost every single one of these other people that I talk to with my same life story has a horrible parent, just like I did. And this leads them to end up in abusive relationships with horrible people. Because as a kid, it's not that your self-concept was deleted. It's that you never developed a self.
Say if I have a daughter, I will raise my daughter to be the strongest. I don't even know what word I want to use, but she will be strong. She will be strong mentally. She will be strong physically too, because to be a woman, you don't have to be all, weak and soft and blah, blah, blah. You can be strong as a woman physically. To be strong emotionally, to just think for herself, to be there for herself. Like, I will raise my girl to be such a bad bee in every sense of the word. And I feel like every mother should want the same thing for her daughter. You should want your daughter to step on these necks. You should want your daughter to only stay in scenarios that serve her. For me, when I see, anyone raising children with the mindset of, you're here to serve another gender. You're here to serve. And the only way that your life matters is if you're in this scenario. Ooh, I just want to rip your lips from your face, because what is the matter with you? Why would you raise anyone, let alone your daughter, like we're not oppressed enough to bow down to the will of anyone? So that's what I mean when I will say I will choose myself in every scenario. Because as much as I love my husband, I love myself more. I do. And I think that's important. Because like RuPaul said, if you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anyone else?
I might tell you a joke, but I never tell you a lie.
And I strongly believe that in whatever relationship that you have to love yourself more than you love the person. Because if you love the person more than you love yourself, that person can do anything to you. They can do anything to you. And you will let it happen. And again, I'm choosing me before anyone else. Well, not before my kids. If I have kids, then that changes. I gotta choose my kids. I can't not choose my kids. So that changes the scenario. But right now, I don't have kids. So guess what? I'm choosing myself. Sorry. What do you want? And I said there were 3 reasons. So the third reason that I feel like it's so important to raise your little girls to stand up for themselves, be there for themselves, be there, the love of their lives, is I feel like when you don't, they lose so much potential. Like, there is so much we as women can do besides being mothers. And I'm not knocking mothers. Being a mother is amazing. Being a wife is amazing. I'm a wife. I love being a wife. But I also know that's not like my only purpose in life, Like, I have other purposes. I have other goals that I want besides being a wife. And we have women in history that have done amazing things. Not only can we, birth the human race, but we can go ahead and do whatever the hell else we want to do. If you want to be a teacher, be a teacher. If you want to be an astronaut, be an astronaut. There are so many things in this world that women can be. So to limit your little girls to wife or mother, I feel like that's a disservice. That's a disservice to them, and that's a disservice to the world. Again, I will reiterate, so people don't think like, I'm saying being a mother or a wife is not enough. I am a wife. I love being a wife. And one day I'm going to have kids, maybe, I think. I don't know. But if I do have kids one day, I will love being a mother. There are women out there who that is what they want to do. They want to be wives and they want to be mothers. That's fine. That is 100% fine if that's your choice. My point is that you should not be raised to only want that. That is your only purpose in life. No. If you choose for that to be your purpose, I love that for you. live in that. Live in your purpose. Live in your truth. When I have a daughter, if I have a daughter, I feel like I'm going to nurture that part of her. Like when she's, I don't know, 6 or 5, and say she comes up to me, she says, Mom, I want to be a gymnast. Guess what? You're taking classes. Mom, I want to be a dancer. Oh, let's go to dancing class. Let's go to ballet class, whatever. I feel like I will indulge every creative whim that my children have because I want them to grow up and not only have life skills of cooking and cleaning, but to also live in their potential. Even if they grow up and they don't become ballet dancers or, gymnasts, that's not the point. The point is that they know there is more to life for them than that. That they know they are capable of everything that they want to do if they just do it, if they just try. And because of that, they don't need validation of this person, that person. They love themselves. They know what they're capable of. I don't know. This was like kind of a deep little topic. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you understood where I came from, what I was trying to say. If you did it and you're like, you can let me know that too. I don't know. But I will see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Love ya.